Afternoon everyone, hope you guys are doing well. I had a video that I wanted to post a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, because I'm doing everything on my phone, I couldn't upload it because it said I hadn't got enough space on my phone, and then I deleted everything and then it wouldn't let me upload it because now I deleted the original videos. Anyways, it's an update as to how we're doing and all of that. But yeah, let's just show you what's going on. So the compost heap, or should I say heaps, are coming along nicely, nice and big. That one's almost ready to use. I had to cover it again with fresh grass clippings because there was stuff starting to grow out of it. But yeah, it's broken down nicely. It should be ready to use in autumn, winter, and that one has a lot more grass in it, so it will be a while before that one is ready to use, but hopefully by then I'll be able to turn it over into this position. Yeah, we weeded and mulched this area over there. Still got to weed this section, but everything's growing nonetheless. I started weeding over here, going that way. Still quite a lot of weeding, as well as this section over here. This section over here I weeded and mulched quite thickly, so hopefully that will help with the weeds and improving the soil. Somebody mentioned to me a few weeks back that I spoke about mulching and that will help with weeds and all of that, and then boom, all the weeds took over. Well, if you recall, when I started doing the mulching, I was only getting grass clippings or leaves once a week, once every 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes not even once a month. Then I started getting a lot more frequently, and at that point in time the seeds were starting to come up, and all my bulbs that I have planted in the garden, such as these beautiful orange flowers. And yeah, I didn't want to mulch over them and take over the possibility of flower seeds coming up. But yeah, I started getting a lot more frequently, and so that helped create the compost heaps. But I still need to mulch more thickly. I've done about a 2-inch layer, and as you can see just by mulching how the soil is starting to improve. So you'll see that it's starting to become loose and staying moist, which will help improve the garden overall. In winter I'll be putting a thick layer of mulch again, as well as compost and all sorts of organic material and things to improve the soil for the next gardening season. If you go over to our Instagram and Facebook page, you'll see I just posted an update of 6 years. So this garden has been 6 years in the making. Before, there was nothing here. This was all grass, except for the top garden over there, after that bed with the orange flowers. That was the only garden. This is all grass over here, and then we had jade plants going up the sidewalk, as well as this side. There was nothing here. The only thing that was here in this part of the garden were these pink flowering flowers that have spread out, but it was all under the frangipani over there, with a small little bed going around it. So the original bed was right there in around the bottom of this frangipani. So, and then obviously some plants over there, and this was a fence that went all the way across over here, and we had a beautiful guavadilla growing, but the previous owner before us decided, no, as we're going to move in that week, that they're going to chop it down. So that was a bit sad, but yeah. And then this hedge over here came literally all the way up to this point over here, right by this tree, came all the way out to over here. So we've worked very hard on reclaiming the garden, building up the swale. I mean, for the garden to do as well as it has in the past 6 years with taking out the grass and planting stuff. So this was the only garden, this one over here was the only garden that was here. I apologize about the wind, guys. And then there was another fence that came from the bottom over there up like this. So this was apparently the old vegetable garden, which we took the fence out and opened it up to the rest of the garden. So as we go in time, things will start improving. Obviously we planted stuff that would take over, like these yellow daisies, which were originally here. We planted it thickly everywhere, and now as we planted new stuff, we're slowly taking that sort of stuff out. There were no bushes, no trees, no nothing other than the coral tree, all these little coral trees. There were absolutely nothing here, and then the trees obviously blocking us from the flat. There was nothing here. The grass came all the way down all the way down to this point over here. We built up the ground a little bit because it was quite the slope, and yeah, I mean, it's been a work in progress over the past 6 years. Obviously my mother-in-law did quite a lot of this garden over here with help from us, and when she moved and we bought the property from her, then we slowly started filling it up more, planting other things that were not here, taking out from other parts of the garden and just filling it up and making it beautiful. I'm sorry I don't post as much on YouTube, but if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you'll see a lot more updates on there. Yeah, the garden is slowly coming along. So yeah, they mentioned with regards to me mentioning that there was mulching going on and it will help with the weeds. You got to remember that you got to mulch thick in order for it to help, but it's not going to completely eradicate the weeds. In the beginning, remember, this is raw land. You are going to have weeds coming up because weeds come in to help try and fix the problem. Therefore, things that will naturally grow there will then start taking over from those weeds. So I wasn't mulching thickly because I wasn't getting enough, and I also wanted to create a compost heap. And also on top of that, I mean, it's quite a big garden, so yeah, not getting enough product from the garden service at that point in time, and then also yeah, just not really having enough time in the day to be able to manage the weeds was also another problem. But mulching is going to help you to create that buffer for the seeds not to be able to germinate, but you still have to weed whatever you see. So if you see a weed plant coming up, like over here, there is a blackjack, pull it up, because that's the only one that made it through the mulch, and that way, and pull it up before the seeds start to come out again. That way you're eradicating the new seeds from coming up, or new seeds being created, and also the mulch is helping you helping the garden, and that way you both winning, but it's not a permanent fix or a permanent resolution for the weeds to stop coming up. You still have to do work, but this is in order to help moisture retention, creating a better soil structure, as well as helping with weeds from coming up. Anyways guys, the links will all be in the description below. Have an awesome week. Bye.